Welcome back. Today's episode, we're going to be focusing on the muscles of the chest and also the triceps, two muscle groups that work together for a lot of exercises. So any motions that are going to be pushing away from you or pushing up, such as a bench press, a push-up, an overhead press, an incline press, those are all chest muscles, both the pecs major and the pectoral minor under the very bottom side of the chest, as well as the three heads of the tricep are going to be the predominant agonists, or the muscles that are doing all the work in a push motion. So today's episode, we're going to be looking at those. That's the pec major, the pec minor underneath that, as well as the three heads of the triceps. And I'll walk you through some exercises that we can do to work both of those two muscle groups. In order to work different parts of the pec muscles, as well as different heads of the triceps, we can use hand placements doing push-ups in order to stress those different parts of each muscle. A regular push-up grip is going to be basically directly under the shoulder. So if I was lying on the ground, directly under the shoulders, such as this, is a traditional push-up position. Now, if I were to move my hands out into a wider grip push-up stance, that would work the outer part of my pec muscles as they insert into the shoulder muscles. If I were to use a closer grip or a diamond grip, many people do these push-ups with a diamond grip, and that works the interior part of the pec muscles. And that looks like this, either diamond grip or just close grip, as opposed to out, wide, the wide grip working the outer part of the muscle. So you can do that straight, traditional grip, down and up, keeping a strong core, sucking that belly button in just like you're doing the plank, but this time involving a dip motion, keeping the elbows in towards the body, a narrow grip, with the elbows even closer into the body, or a wide grip. Again from the front, traditional grip, narrow grip, or wide grip. And all those are doing, stressing the main heads, the pec major, pec minor, outside and inside. So narrow grip makes a lot of sense, stresses the middle part of your pecs. Wide grip, outer, and middle grip, just the normal traditional, will stress a little bit of all of it. This is the bench press machine. Very, very similar to a push-up in the motion that we will do, and it works primarily the same muscles. It will work the pecs and also the triceps on the extend phase. Now, this machine itself will allow you to add weight, so it's not just doing a body weight or a calisthenic exercise. This requires a little bit of knowledge beforehand about what you're capable of lifting. If you don't know, a good way to start is just start very, very light, and if it feels light to you, increase the weight. And light being, if you can do 12 reps with relative ease, increase the weight. So by the end of a set of 10 reps, 12 reps, you should be struggling to get that last rep in. So we'll choose a weight, something that you know you can do or think you can do. As far as seat adjustment, the crossbar of this machine should end up right at the top of your pecs or the bottom of your pecs, depending on what part you want to work. Now, the bar should be no more than an inch or so away from your chest. You don't want it too far back, right on your chest, or it will stress the rotator cuff too far. Your shoulder has to open itself up too much. But an inch, 2 inches right in front of the chest, the crossbar right in front of the upper or middle part of your pec, and then all we will do, push our back into the upright. You can even place your head back against it but we're going to be careful not to arch the small of our back. That hyperextends the spine, puts a lot of pressure on your low back. And all we'll do is just flex those chest muscles, engage the triceps, and slowly push that out to a fully extended position and back. Now on that fully extended position, we're not locking our elbows, but we do want a straight arm at the end of that motion. As far as reps and sets go, as I touched on earlier, you should choose a weight that allows you to do between 8 to 12 reps, but that should be very difficult for you. If you can do 20, you need to increase the weight in order to get any sort of benefit out of the exercise. If you can't do that, if you can't do in the 8 to 12 range, you should probably back the weight off a little bit initially. You can work up to it, but that initial, you should pick a weight that allows you to do between 8 to 12. As far as sets go, it all depends. The more sets you do, the quicker you'll experience gains. But if you don't have time, you can also use a little bit heavier weight, and you'll have to do less sets. You'll get a workout in a quicker, smaller time frame than you would if you were doing 6 sets of this. And then back down. Now the difference between these hand grips, the cross guard hand grips, that's working the whole chest, the upper chest, and especially these outer fibers of your pecs, just like the wide grip push-up did. This up and down, this vertical handle will really stress not only more middle fibers of your chest, but also the anterior deltoid. So this will involve a lot of the front shoulder as the pec inserts into the shoulder. Will also involve a lot of that frontal shoulder region as well. And again, that's these vertical handles. Just a slightly different hand placement can make a big difference in the exercise itself. But the same principles apply. Straight out, fully extended, back in. Straight out, fully extended, back in. And as far as reps and sets go, it's more or less the same exact exercise. So again, between 8 to 12 reps, you can do 1 set's beneficial, 2 sets also beneficial. I like to do 3, but that's just me. It feels well-rounded to do sets of 3. I'll even do 3 sets with the horizontal grip, and then I'll switch and do 3 sets with the vertical grip. It just makes a lot of sense to me to do it that way. I like doing sets of 3, but again, it's up to you. This is a pec fly machine. What this does is it really allows us to take that pec muscle and experience a full range of motion all the way out from where that pec inserts into the deltoid, as well as bring it all the way in and really feel the contraction in the middle of our chest there. So it's called a fly because you basically do the same exact motion as you would if you were flapping wings. So that is the motion that we'll try to emulate during this exercise. Now, as far as the arm placement goes on the fly machine, you're going to want a horizontal plane all the way across for the 2 arms. So when you're sitting on the pad itself here, your arms should be going straight out to your sides and not extending any farther back. Again, just like the push-up, opening up that shoulder too far. That rotator cuff is how you strain that, and everyone's heard of that dreaded rotator cuff injury. We want to avoid that. So we're going straight out in a horizontal frontal plane just to the sides of our body with the placement. Now as far as the weight goes, you're not using the triceps at all for this exercise, so it's all pec muscle. So we want to start light, see what you can do, and then work up from there. But a good starting weight, it just depends on the individual. So you'll just have to put a light weight on, 20 pounds, 30 pounds-ish. But again, you're using your entire chest and both arms. So that shouldn't be too much as an experimental load. Now, out to the sides, hand placement. Higher up you grab on these two handles here, you'll work the upper fibers of your pecs as you run through that range of motion. Middle, obviously the middle. Lower, we'll get the lower part of your pecs, and especially stress the lower part right in the middle of your chest as they insert down into the rectus. So here I'm just going to take a normal neutral grip right in the middle here, and then all you do for this exercise is bring those together, touching, almost touching, right in the front, and then lower them under control. Again, together, really feeling that exercise, that squeeze right in your pecs. Don't drop the weights, lower them under control, and we'll just feel that all the way through that range of motion. If you feel you need to stabilize further or want to isolate one side or the other, if you feel like your right arm is too strong or if you feel like your left arm is too strong, you can anchor yourself in on the bottom, just hold on to the machine itself, and just do one arm at a time. Now it's going to be a little bit harder, but it allows you to isolate one side or the other. That way, you're not overly strong on your dominant side, whichever that one might be. But again, for a beginner, I recommend just starting with both arms, straight, horizontal, frontal plane. Higher grip works the upper pecs. Lower grip will work the lower part of the pecs. It's just that easy fly motion. It's as easy as that. Both the bench press and the fly can be done with dumbbells as well as the machines that I just demonstrated for you. If we're doing a bench press, the dumbbell, I'm going to just lie flat on the back on a flat bench. Start with the dumbbells right here above our shoulders, just like we started with the push-up. And it's more or less exactly the same motion. Straight up towards the sky. You may choose to rotate at the wrists at the top of the motion, or just go straight up. Either way works just fine. I prefer to rotate the wrists. It gets a little bit more tricep involvement at the top of the motion. But again, we can work on just straight ahead, normal grip bench press. We can work out wide and just bring those weights a little bit farther out from the midline of our body. Or we can go close grip and really focus on keeping those weights in close, right over the center of our chest. In order to do the fly motion, we just slightly bend those elbows and allow those to drop down to right about chest level. And then again, it's that easy flapping motion right from above the shoulders, meeting up in the middle, lowering under control, and then you repeat that again. Again, we need to start light before we know what we're capable of. So start with a 5 pound, a 10 pound, something you know you can do. And then assess your strength from there. Choose a weight, again, allowing you to do between 8 to 12 reps. And then depending on how much time you have, depending on if you really want to emphasize that muscle group for the day, you can then choose how many sets you'd like to do of each exercise. Now we're going to emphasize our tricep muscles. The triceps are hard to hit doing all these exercises such as the bench press or the fly or even push-ups, simply because the pec muscles are a far bigger muscle group than the triceps are, and so they overtake and overshadow the triceps. In order to isolate, there's a couple different exercises that we can very easily do. One being the dip. This will exercise part of our pec minor as well as our shoulders, but we're targeting primarily our triceps. So what we'll do is just off of a flat bench here, go into sort of a seated pose, and just place the palms of the hands, the heels of the hands, in a grip right here in the edge of the weight bench. From there, we're just going to lower ourselves down and then extend back up, pressing our chest out as we do so. Lower down to a 45-degree angle with our elbows, or 90 if you want to really emphasize that, and back up. From a seated position, all the way to a straight, rigid spine. And we're just really emphasizing those tricep muscles here. And with no weight, just body weight, you can do a lot of these before it'll start to really get you. So again, we're just going to do a lot of reps with this until we start really feeling that burn in that tricep. And as we're doing, that'll let us know that we're doing the right thing. Another exercise we can do is called kickback. Now this, we'll just want to lean over forward with our back, about a 45-degree angle, one leg in front of the other, sort of a runner stance here. Neither leg is going to move. Nice firm base. You pick a dumbbell that you know you're very capable of extending out behind you. So start light until you know your capabilities, and we can work up from there. And we want to rest that upper body weight on the hand that does not have the dumbbell in it. Your upper arm segment won't move. That's from the shoulder to the elbow here. Keep that close into your body. That doesn't move at all. The only thing that moves here for this exercise is the distal arm segment. So that'll be from the weight up to your elbow. Lock that elbow in, and we're just extending that out backwards until we have a straight arm. And you can feel that almost immediately in the tricep. This is called a kickback. And that lack of mobility in the rest of your body just really forces that tricep to do all the work. This is an excellent exercise if you're trying to focus on targeting only and primarily the tricep. Now, since this one has weight, you'll just have to start with some light weights till you find your limits. And then from there, you can move on and decide what you need to do to increase that weight or increase those reps in order to get yourself more of a workout once you get stronger. Today we looked at exercises that emphasize the pec muscles as well as the tricep muscles. Now these are, both of them, super important and very potent muscle groups in our upper body. They're big, they're strong, and they basically perform many of the motions that you will do throughout a day. Now, we went through the bench press, we went through the push-ups, we went through the fly machine. You can also vary those up by using dumbbells, doing one arm at a time, different hand grips for push-ups, emphasizing different parts of the chest. And also, if you want to isolate those triceps, kickbacks are a great exercise to do, as well as dips. Dips, again, get the shoulders a little bit of the pec minor, and they're just an all-round good thing for your upper body. So if you're looking to get strong, looking to get fit, these are some very basic, extremely useful exercises to do for the chest and triceps in the upper body.